This is Sarah.
This is Mark.
And this is Geeky Freaky. Saturday, like when we woke up in the morning, I woke up and Mark was in the room, which is like the first time that's ever happened. And you're like the first thing I saw. I was like, oh, he's asleep still. And
let's fuck with him.
Yeah, and like on our bed, we had like one of those big like cylindrical long like flesh tone pillows that was like a throw pillow on our bed.
It was a big red hot dog pillow.
It was a big hot dog pillow, and it was on the floor, and Mark was asleep, and he was just on a bare mattress, like sleeping all exposed, and I was like, it's a scene of a rape.
This is why I try to go home, like just get in my car and go home.
I got it, and I like put it in front of my like crotch, and I walked up and I was like probing him in the face with it, and he kind of like moaned a little bit, and then he wrapped his arm around it and rolled over and just kind of like he like wrapped his arms and legs around it like it was a hug pillow, and I just let it go.
That's all I had, Sarah.
And he was like hugging the giant hot dog, like spooning it, and I like backed away. I'm sure plenty have humped that before you. Just saying.
What?
You're not its first.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's probably more sanitary. And
I've seen enough porno movies shot in hotel rooms where, like, on the bed cover, going, wait, how many hotel rooms have been violated in this way? And immediately is like, don't touch the outs. You think the outside of a duvet or whatever on a bed cover in a hotel room is safe? It's not. You should bring maybe a black light with you. And somebody shot a porno there, and you could probably find it and watch it. But
fuck.
Yeah, that thought went into my mind, and I'm like, I am done here. I'm not touching this thing anymore. I'm not touching anything
that's
for the rest of the weekend.
That's how Mark started his Saturday morning.
Yeah, that was Saturday.
With hot dogs, giant ones.
Yeah.
So we Saturday was all about preparation for Crash and Compile.
Yep.
So we walked around briefly and went to the hardware hacking village to see how the darknet kit was selling, and went and picked up lollipops at this store called Lollipop, which was conveniently next to the elevator bank for our rooms. And we picked up, I got like 5 or 6 lollipops for the tip. Probably could have done with more, but I don't even think I used all those up. For the tip, which got its grand unveiling / test run during Crash and Compile.
Yep.
We had about an hour and a half delay starting the contest. So after we brought what we thought was everything we needed down to the contest area, we had to run back and forth to the hotel to pick up the pint glasses and various other things were missing.
Various other items.
And they didn't have the Wi-Fi set up, which, you know, Mark was pissed off about for, like, good reasons.
I bought a brand new Mac computer, and on the new Mac computers, to make all the connectors smaller, they got rid of the Ethernet jack, and the way you work around that is you buy a $20 dongle that plugs into the Thunderbolt port and gives you Ethernet. And so I haven't bought one of those because I haven't needed one yet. So I had thought somebody told me before the competition, there'll be a private Wi-Fi, and I could get onto the network that we needed. And so they're hooking up network, and I'm sitting there with my laptop not connected, and they're like, we'll come over and grade it for you. And I'm like, but what about going to the webpage that gives me the instructions?
I'm
like,
he's at a deficit, like.
I was like, I'm done. I'm like, I felt wiped out before the contest started, and so I spent an hour going up and across the whole hotel. There was a Best Buy vending machine, and I'm like, that thing's got to have this dongle in it. They've got all like earphones and stuff, and they had a couple of Mac products in there, and they, for whatever reason, there were blank spots, but somebody had said that they saw one in there.
They were gone.
If they were in there, they were gone. And so I was like, okay, that's out. Then in the vendor room, there was somebody selling old Mac hardware, and he had some Mac stuff, and I'm like, do you have this? adapter, and he's like, no, I don't have this. And it's like, okay, so strike two, screwed out. So went back, and I just sat at my laptop, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll get hand graded, and I'll figure out how do I get the question, like put it up on the projector, I don't know, something. And one of the other competitors had a friend that was like, he was chatting with next to him, and he just asked him, he goes, do you have an Ethernet Thunderbolt thing? Because he had a Mac as well. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, here, use it for the competition. So the guy loaned it to me, and
he was good to go.
Yeah, I was good to go, but it was at the very last minute. So I went from really stressed out and
pissed.
I was pissed. I was just, because it was like, I didn't know what the conditions were for the competition. Like if somebody had told me there's going to be Cat 5 and that's how you're going to connect, I would have went to the Apple store and bought the
nothing
thing I
was
needed,
really set up. Like they didn't all the things that Jeff had requested for his contest to have set up prior to him getting there, none of that was taken care of. So it delayed us quite a bit, and we only ended up having 4 rounds of the tournament versus 6 like we were anticipating or planning on having.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. We pretty much all the Vegas people, like the Sin Shop people, including like Nathan and Akeem and all, like Pavel and all of them were there. Pavel actually is responsible for getting like the majority of our footage during that time, because we were both engaged and couldn't, film.
All the footage we're showing over our talking is Pavel.
Courtesy of him.
Yes, Pavel's awesome. He's a good cameraman.
Thank you, dude.
Yes, thank you, Pavel.
Big crash. So what this matter with is teams get the choice of choosing the hard rock or the medium rock
Mark helped me get dressed, or corseted. He laced me up.
Yeah, I had to lace the brocade through the corset, and then she got it on her waist, and I
got the strap on.
Had to get that sucker tight, and as tight as we could get it.
You got it. Yeah, it worked out great though. For the test run of the lower half of Project L, it was like spot on, like no issues.
Definitely.
Mark strung all the electronics in the tube of the shaft, and they worked great. After he kind of tweaked the tip, honed out anything that could catch, on the stepper motor and whatnot.
I did a bunch of tweaks because the tip was not turning.
It wasn't
sometimes,
turning,
so I just did everything I could think of, and it got up to where it needs to work now.
Got great attention.
Sarah. I did. Yeah, I don't know how many people are actually going to listen, but I think someone
I wouldn't complain about anything. It was exciting. During the beginning of the contest, so I have this strap-on on, and I didn't want to, I was really trying not to go for the obvious distraction, since I was on Team Distraction, which is the group of people that's supposed to keep the competitors from coding. I didn't want to be a slutty hoe. So I was like, I'm not gonna go that road. Route whatever. I'm gonna be freaky, because it's in the name.
Yep.
So
you did good.
I would walk in between the team members, and I would put my phallus like in between their heads, and I would just talk to them, and I'd ask them, what kind of language are you using? What problem are you working on? Do you find these problems hard? Did you think the qualifying round was hard? And I would just kind of strike up a conversation with them, and then at some point they'd turn their head, and there'd be a giant like twitching gem-encrusted head like in between them, in between them, and they'd like be like, oh god. But at the beginning, like during the first round, a lot of them knew that I was supposed to be distracting them, and they were like purposely ignoring me. And by the end of the contest, every single one of the team members had licked my lollipop and had rubbed all over the dick, and they totally got into it, and everyone was lit and having a good time by the end. Like it was like a giant party freak fest orgy on stage. And
I think we made Crash and Compile very entertaining for at least for the competitors, but
Yeah.
also the crowd.
Yeah.
We're just like, what's going
What the
on?
hell?
It made people, I think, like walk by, stay, and
And
watch
want to know what the hell was
longer.
going on.
Yeah, which is the thing, is you want to get some attention for your event, because it's up on a stage and nobody's really paying attention to it in that room. It's not an audience. You're in another convention room.
And you happen to be on stage.
Yeah, so I think you get ignored. Like,
Yeah.
if it's not interesting, you get ignored. So I think you made it entertaining. Which is awesome.
Felt I brought something different to the table because
Yes.
I've heard about Crash and Compile in the past and what it's been like, and Jeff sort of brought the entertainment to the table in the past with the PDP 11 and his 20-sided die that he would roll across the floor, and whatever programming language would turn face up on the die, they would have to use that to
Right.
program, which is kind of like a way of showboating, but it made things more theatrical and interesting for everyone that was either participating or watching the contest.
Yeah.
And having a giant 2-foot strap on definitely stirred the pot a little bit. But I want to congratulate the winners, which were Frank Rules. They were pretty awesome. Like, I had a pleasure meeting and getting to know all the various teams and chatting with all the people while they were, frustrated trying to
Yeah.
solve all the problems. Mark gave up like right in the beginning. Like, he completely just
Yeah, I think the first round of questions were like cipher questions, and I was expecting like, here's a list of names sorted by alphabetically, which is like the preliminaries were, and it was like, oh shit, I don't do cipher anything, and so like I would have had to educate myself on that thing, and the rules kind of explained it, but I was already, I think, 2 beers into it because of the 2-hour
waiting,
delay.
yeah.
I was just drinking beer waiting for the thing to start.
Yeah,
So
at some
yeah,
point he
I was done before I started.
he was like, Sarah, I have a problem with my code. Can you come check it out for me? And he like flipped his computer towards the audience, and it was just porn. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that was my motive. I was like, I'm done. I'm just
you just
gonna,
started fucking with me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
screw with you and the audience. It's
Yeah.
like, look, my screen's facing the audience. What can I do to be slightly
Yeah.
entertaining? So, I have an internet connection, so I'll just go to my favorite porn
website and
just
be a
load up
douchebag.
the front page, and it's just whatever was there today, and so I got a little kick out of that. And then of course Pavel got some footage of
Yeah.
that, but Pavel, I left the computer to go like play with you for a while, and Pavel got to my
Play
computer,
with me.
and it's like random gifs dot whatever,
Yeah.
and so he's got like cats on vacuum cleaners and things like that, and so Pavel like took it back to a G-rated level, and then I just let that play on the screen, and I'd come and hit the space bar to switch the new GIF and stuff.
At some point, he came up to me like in his drunkenness, because he had given up, and I was like busy
Yeah.
distracting everyone, and he had a can of silly string that was like kind of dead, and he tapped me on the shoulder from behind, and I turned around, and from like point blank range, he sprayed me with this silly string,
Which came
like,
out as silly
spray.
spurt.
It was like nasty, that stinky fluid spurt.
Yeah, it was just
and it was
gross.
like all over me, like in little like droplets, and I was like not feeling it at all.
Yeah, I got not the reaction I was looking for.
And I hauled off, and I slapped him like the full like 180. I like followed through to about here.
Yeah.
And he didn't remember it 2 seconds after.
I
it
remember the
happened. He
silly
was
string,
that
and I
drunk.
don't remember her slapping me to this moment. I
'Cause-
do not remember a slap. I just remember talking to you about it. I don't remember getting whacked across the face hard. I don't remember it, and I like my brain automatically just erases those things. Apparently,
As soon as it happened, you could tell that he didn't know that it happened, because I was like, oh god, I shouldn't have done that. As soon as I did it, I felt bad. I was like, oh my god,
you got away with it.
I just hit Mark. And I felt horrible. I was like, I just slapped Mark. Like, I didn't just slap
in
you.
front of people standing and
Yes,
watching.
on stage.
What was that?
On stage at DefCon, I slapped the fuck out of him. I wanted to do that my whole life, by the way. So, like, you fulfilled some, like...
Oh, really? You just
need-
wanted to slap me?
No, I mean, like...
Oh,
I-
slap anybody.
I wanted to... my whole life, I've wanted to slap
Well,
somebody.
I'm glad I cleared an item off your bucket
And you
list.
were the first person I've ever slapped. Ever in my life.
Really?
Yes.
I'm honored, and I don't remember it. I'm sorry. Maybe at some point slap me again, and I'll try to. We can talk about it afterward. How do you feel about the slapping?
How do you feel?
Tell me about the
this?
first person you ever slapped. Yeah. So
We can talk about that as much
yeah,
as you want.
we'll work into it.
But yeah, it was it was an awesome experience. We I at some point I had all the fucking teams feeling my head tube, and for the internet that doesn't know, I have like a
Are we gonna show
valve. I don't have to show it, but
Okay.
I have a valve in my head that there's a tube that goes in and drains to my stomach, and I was having people feel that, and I was explaining
Yes.
that whole medical case to them, and that was distracting, and yeah,
Yeah, Sarah has water on the brain sometimes. An actual, we're not joking, an actual medical condition. And
yeah,
yes, so there's a pump under her skin.
but it was fun distracting people with that,
Yeah,
that fact.
it's when you have some augmentation and you can freak people out with it.
Well,
It's
they were
awesome.
like, where the fuck did they find you? You have a 2-foot strap on and like a valve in your head. What the fuck?
Exactly.
You know, they're like, where did they find you? And yeah, I all the teams that competed were really cool. Like, I really enjoyed getting to know them in the fucked up way that I did get to know them. And I'm glad that the team who won. They were really awesome. And even when I was distracting them, like if I was fucking with one of the guys, the other one, his team member, would start coding. And if I went over and I started messing with him, the other guy would start coding. So they were essentially like distracting me at the end. And I'm like, these guys are good, you know. And they ended up winning Jeff's hand-welded steel D20, which is awesome. And
Yeah.
the event was pretty amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of the public on-stage party involving all of our people, which is cool. It was our time to shine.
Yeah, it was a culmination of all this work that was done by everybody, and even my, I didn't participate so much in the setup, but the, being a competitor and like that build up leading to that was, it all came together in this nexus, and it happened, and it was
like
a very
a-
powerful moment for me, and I can tell for you and everybody else. It was all at once. It was nice.
It was like a public, like, porno on stage.
Yeah, we turned it pornographic to some degree, and made it very exhibitionist.
Yeah.
And, that was. I can see that's part of the entertainment that we wanted. We wanted to create some entertainment level, and I think part of the reason I gave up early is I knew I was dead in the water at some level.
So we turned it into theatrical.
I was gonna embellish everything, all of Sarah's entertainment level. I was gonna help, like, bring that out a little bit more, just take it to a new level. And so I hope
We succeeded.
achieved at least at that level.
It was good.
I think in the closing ceremonies there was somebody, I didn't get to the closing ceremony, but you said there was a comment that somebody made about somebody doing shit on stage, and it was like, that's Mark.
They were typing a couple lines of code,
And then
hitting enter, and then taking a drink, and then going hitting enter, and then taking a drink. And I don't know who they're actually talking about, but
That was me.
That sounded like Mark.
Yeah, toward the
That's
end.
what you were doing.
Actually, so I did entertainment, and then I came back to the computer and tried to do a problem again, and that was like, I actually wrote a program that returned random results. Like, I didn't even bother coding the solution. I was like, I'm going to return, one was like, return a yes or a no, right? And so I was like, well, let me see if statistically I can hit this. I think it was like, of the pass-fail test, it was a 1 in 1,000 chance of you getting all of the yes-no answers in a row. And I'm like, hey, those are pretty good odds. So I wrote a program that literally returned randomly yes or no, and then I just kept submitting it.
You were hoping by chance that he would get the correct output.
Yeah, and the
win.
the average was 5 or 6. It would say 5 out of 10 test pass, and the next one it would be 6, and I'm like, God, if I could just get that one that says 10, I would pass the test, and they would look at the code and go, this is random, and it's like, yeah, I still passed it. So
yeah, you'd still get points.
to me, that's hacking. That's real hacking. It's like you take any system that you're given and you fool it into thinking. You fool it into the right answer, what it thinks is the right answer.
That's hacking.
So yeah, that was my kind of attitude toward the end. It's like, I'm just gonna screw with this.
Fuck it.
I'm gonna try stuff and
own it.
maybe it'll work. Yeah. So
But Mark finished with no points. He got
0.
no points. Team burnt down.
burned itself down.
And
And from the ashes rise the phoenix. Yeah.
yes,
or something like
there's
that.
something.
Cool. Wait. Cheers, guys. Cheers. The crew here, this is the crew. To your health, you old cow.
All right, we can talk about Sunday here.
I gotta pee real
Why don't we
quick.
take a we're gonna take a break and then
Yeah,
we'll
come back.
come back. All right.
Oh, you do it? I don't know where it is.
It's fine.